Oh God, I cried, give me new birth and put me back upon the earth. Upset each cloud's gigantic gourd and let the heavy rain down poured in one big torrent. Set me free, washing my grave away from me. One's identity is not found in oneself, but in the freedom that comes from a rebirth of soul. At only 19, Edna St. Vincent Millay, realizing this universal truth, attempted to share with the world the hope that comes from knowledge of true identity. This is Renascence by Edna St. Vincent Millay. All I could see from where I stood was 3 long mountains and a wood. I turned and looked another way and saw 3 islands and a bay. So with my eyes, I traced the line of the horizon thin and fine, straight around till I was come back to where I'd started from. And all I could see from where I stood was 3 long mountains and a wood. Over these things I could not see. These were the things that bounded me, and I could touch them with my hand. Almost, I thought, from where I stand. And all at once, things seemed so small, my breath came short and scarce at all. But sure, the sky is big, I said, miles and miles above my head. So here upon my back, I'll lie and look my fill into the sky. And so I looked, and after all, the sky was not so very tall. The sky, I thought, must somewhere stop, and sure enough, I see the top. The sky, I thought, is not so grand. I most could touch it with my hand, and reaching up my hand to try, I screamed to feel it touch the sky. I screamed, and lo, infinity came down and settled over me. Forced back my scream into my chest, bent back my arm upon my breast, and pressing of the undefined definition on my mind, held up before my eye a glass through which my shrinking sight did pass, until it seemed I must behold immensity made of manifold. Whisper to me a word whose sound deafened the air for worlds around, but brought unmuffled to my ears the gossiping of friendly spears, the creaking of the tinted sky, the ticking of eternity. I saw and heard and knew at last the how and why of all things past and present and forevermore. The universe cleft to the core lay open to my probing sense, that sickening I could faint pluck thence, but could not, nay, but needs must suck at the great wound, and could not pluck my lips away till I had drawn all venom out. Ah, fearful pond, for my omniscience paid I toll, an infinite remorse of soul. All sin was of my sinning, all atoning mine, and mine the gall of all regret. Mine was the weight of every brooded wrong, the hate behind each envious thrust. Mine every greed, mine every lust. And all the while, for every grief, each suffering, I craved relief with individual desire. Craved all in vain, and felt fierce fire about 1,000 people crawl. Perished with each, then mourned for all. No hurt I did not feel, no death that was not mine, that crying meant an answering cry from the compassion that was I. All suffering mine, and mine its rod, mine pity like the pity of God. Ah, awful weight, infinity pressed down upon the finite me. My anguished spirit like a bird, beating against my lips. I heard, but weigh the lake so close about, there is no room for it without. And so beneath the weight lay I, and suffered death, but could not die. Long had I lain thus, craving death, when suddenly the earth beneath gave way, inch by inch, till I, full 6 feet underground did lie, and sank no more. There is no weight can follow here, however great. Deep in the earth, I rested now, cool as its hand upon the brow and soft its cheek beneath the head of one who is so gladly dead. And all at once, and over all, the pitying rain began to fall. I lay and heard each pattering hoof against my lowly thatched roof, and seemed to love the sound far more than I had ever done before. For rain, it hath a friendly sound to one who's 6 feet underground, and scarce the friendly voice or face. A grave is such a quiet place. The rain, I said, is kind to come and speak to me in my new home. I would I were alive again, to kiss the fingers of the rain, to drink into my eyes the shine of every slanted silver line. For soon the showers will be done, and then the broad face of the sun will laugh above the rain-soaked earth, and then the world with answering mirth shakes joyously, and each round drop rolls twinkling from its grass blade top. How can I bear it, buried here, while overhead the sky grows clear and blue again after the storm? Oh, multicolored, multiform, beloved beauty over me that I shall never, never see again. Spring silver, autumn gold that I shall never more behold, sleeping its myriad magics through, close sepulchred away from you. Oh God, I cried, give me new birth and put me back upon the earth. Upset each cloud's gigantic gourd and let the heavy rain down pour in one big torrent. Set me free, washing my grave away from me. I ceased, and through the breathless hush that answered, the far-off rush of herald wings come down the vibrant string of my assuming prayer. And crash, the big rain in one black wave fell from the sky and struck my grave. I know not how such things can be. I only know there came to me a fragrance such never clings to aught save the happy living things. The grass a tiptoe at my ear, beating against my lips, I could hear, laid gently on my sealed sight. And all at once, the heavy night fell from my eyes, and I could see. And as I looked, a gust of wind blew up to me and thrust into my face a miracle of orchard breath, and with the smell, I know not how such things can be, I breathed my soul back into me. Ah, up then from the ground sprang I and hailed the earth with such a cry that is not heard, save from a man who has been dead and lives again. About the trees my arms I wound like one gone mad. I hugged the ground. I lifted my quivering arms on high and laughed into the sky until at my throat a strangling sob caught fiercely, and a great heart throb sent instant tears into my eyes. Oh God, I cried, no dark disguise can e'er hereafter hide from me thy radiant identity. Thou canst not move across the grass, but my quick eyes will see thee pass, nor speak however silently, but my hushed voice will answer thee. God, I know the path that leads thy way through the cool eve of every day. God, I can push the grass apart and lay my finger on thy heart.